Hi, Brian Hummel here, looking at some soil restoring berms. We plant these with a bunch of legumes. I think this is Illinois bundleflower. I've got some Sephora seeds, mountain laurel. So you can just go and pop the mountain laurel seeds in the ground. These I just picked up off the ground that didn't get sprouted earlier. You know, put them a foot or so apart. Some will come up, some won't. But what this does is this holds back a lot of your sediments and starts building the soil. And with these nitrogen fixing plants, you're really speeding up the soil recovery process. So follow me. This is what this whole soil used to look like. We're in a really high clay caliche. It sticks to your shoes when you walk on it. It was like a moonscape here. So I did have to bring in some material. I brought it from other places on the property. I mixed it with mulch and have relatively better soil. Again, planted with a bunch of nitrogen-fixing wildflowers. This is Texas bluebonnet. And this, again, catches the water and slows it down. It eventually pushes it over that edge and catches it with another berm. So follow me again. So as that berm that we just crossed overflows, it fills this whole area up. This one is not perfectly on contour because I didn't want to damage any of the existing trees, but you can see what's on the ground. There's almost nothing on the ground. You can also see the natural microdetritus berms forming and building up some of the soil. That soil would have otherwise washed away if it wasn't for this large woody debris. So if this is your watershed, you know, some of the stuff we saw after the flood, this would be like a 50-foot cypress tree, but it does the same exact thing here on this landscape. It's just at a smaller scale. So this large woody debris is absolutely vital to the uplands for the same reason that it's vital to the river systems. So we've got this berm coming. You can see the way that, you know, some of this the flood debris got caught up in here, and it's just building soil and building soil and building soil. Also, a perfect example, look at the size and health of your grass here versus the grasses there. Enormous difference when you add some water to the mix. Okay, I'm showing you what I wanted to fix. So there was way too much water flowing down here. Come up and over. I put on the berm, I like to leave brushy stuff. So some people are going to look and say, oh, that's ugly. But you know what? Deer don't like it either. So what you protect down here is you protect your little plants from the deer, because the deer don't want to stick their face in there to grab that. They're worried about getting scratches on them, you know. So the deer won't come in and grab those wildflowers. The deer won't go in and grab, you know, these little nitrogen fixing plants. And you can also come back in later if you want to be more proactive, I guess. You can come back in here and in this better soil where there's free gravity powered irrigation going to the roots over and over again, you can actually plant things in that. But I prefer to plant seeds because it's quicker and it's easier. And then the root system of this plant is not at all damaged, and the roots go exactly where they would in nature. But this is what I was trying to stop. Look at this erosion. When you see pedestaling like this, you'll find this in highly eroded rivers where the grass is the only thing that's holding this little pedestal in place, but you find it on the uplands too. And when you start seeing land that's this highly eroded, and you start finding juniper trees with roots that are 6 and 8 inches off the ground, you know you're in an area that's highly eroded. This side over here, look, this plant, its roots are way up here. Again, plant roots 6 or 8 inches off the ground. So you can tell there's a tremendous amount of soil being lost here. So what I'm trying to do is slow spread and sink the water up there, so you get gravity is pulling the water down through the soils instead of immediately rushing off. And when it rushes off, it takes the water away and you never get it back. So even though your rain gauge might say you had 5 inches, your plants think you got ½ an inch because the rest of it's down there, and it's highly erosive. It takes your soil away. You know, these grasses aren't nearly as healthy as they would have been if there was soil on either side of them. So just be very observant when you're out walking in your landscape, and if you start seeing pedestaling and you start seeing roots that I guarantee you did not grow above ground when they were being put out by this tree, you know that you're having some water problems. But this is really just a symptom of the greater problem. That's too much water flowing off your uplands too fast. So anything you can do to slow spread and sink the water in your uplands is going to help prevent this from happening and help reverse the damage that's been done over time. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.